watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Live at 4. I'm Brady Mallory.
And I'm Sarah Carlson. Susan Simon will be back next week.
And I know, Sarah, you are getting ready for yet another marathon. You'll be doing a long run this weekend. Beautiful weather for it.
Oh, God, it'll be perfect. Absolutely. We have a fall feel upon us right now with some chilly temperatures, but no one's complaining too much. Meteorologist Blaze Keller is out on the patio. Yep, you have your coat on.
Yep, the light jacket. It is a bit breezy out here, but it is a very beautiful weekend. We have a lot going on, from Ironman to farmers markets to Friday night football tonight, the UW game tomorrow, and thankfully the weather conditions are going to stay very pleasant. Winds are going to be dying down too, still gusting upwards of 20 to 25 miles per hour right now, but those winds will continue to die down as we head further into the evening and overnight. It's 61 in Madison, Lone Rock, and Platteville, 63 in Waukesha, as well as in Janesville, 59. The Dells stretching into Camp Douglas, 57. Even further north, we're in the low 60s in Dane County. We're actually cooler than some parts of Canada right now. Northwestern Territories Yellowknife up there near the Arctic Circle is about a few degrees warmer than we are. So that just shows you where our warm air continues to be off to our north and west. We're going to slip into the 40s tonight, and then we're back into the 60s, low to mid 60s Saturday and Sunday. Again, a lot going on this weekend, and the weather conditions are going to stay very pleasant. 70s are on the horizon. We'll talk about when they return and how long they stick around for coming up in the full forecast.
Sounds great. Thank you, Blaze. And we are following some breaking news in Madison. Police say they are searching for the girl seeing on your screen right there. She was reported missing from a home on the city's west side. Cherish Golden Smith has been missing since the 25th of last month and did not return home Tuesday to her mother when she was scheduled to. She was reported missing from Moraine View Drive near Elver Park on the southwest side. She's also known to be at an address in Sun Prairie and uses the Madison Metro system to get around the city. If you have any information regarding her whereabouts, please call Madison Police.
In our final story in our Back to School series, we're highlighting some of Madison's teachers new to the world of education themselves.
That's right. Armand Rahman sits down with two new teachers at Madison East High School in Madison to hear their unique journeys to the classroom.
That's right, Brady and Sarah. I spoke to two educators who are teaching pretty different subjects, but you'll be surprised how much they overlap in their hopes and outlooks for their first years. Tara Huff will be teaching construction and woodworking at East High School, but she's looking to build something stronger with her new students: trust. She's completely new to the education world, an independent contractor who was asked to fill in for a retired teacher at East, and she says she wants her students to know the world of opportunity out there with skills in the trades.
Yeah, the possibilities are endless, and you know, I've always said, working in the private industry, the trades need help, first and foremost. They are down in numbers, and the amount of youth going into the trades is nothing like what it used to be 20 years ago.
And meanwhile, just upstairs from the shop, Isabel Larson will be starting her first year teaching sheltered modern U.S. history to students who have been in the U.S. for only about a year, along with ethnic studies and world history. And coming up at 5, I'll have more from Miss Larson and Miss Huff as they got their classrooms ready to kick off the school year.
Thank you, Armand. Senator Tammy Baldwin says 30,000 Wisconsinites will lose health care coverage if premium tax credits are not extended at the end of the year. During a news conference at Access Community Health Centers today, Senator Baldwin explained premiums under the Affordable Care Act will increase to up to 35% without an extension. The burden will also fall largely on small businesses, which could lose employees to larger corporations.
This is essentially the beginning of the dismantlement of the Affordable Care Act with no plan and process for the future. And so what will happen to small business owners like me is at the end of this year, when they expire, everyone's healthcare costs will raise astronomically, and they'll come to me and they'll say, we've got to find a better way. Like, can you help us find another way to get healthcare? But the fact is I can't.
A report from the Center on Health Insurance Reforms estimates 93% of Affordable Care Act enrollees receive financial help in the form of premium tax credits.
The person who lunged at two men with a knife on State Street early this morning has been identified. Officers responded to State Street just after midnight to a report of a potential stabbing. Investigators say the suspect was carrying a knife and lunged at two men. That suspect was gone when police arrived, but officers recovered the knife at the scene. No one was seriously hurt.
Bradbury's Coffee on North Hamilton Street is closed after a small electrical fire yesterday. Madison fire crews responded at about 1:30 p.m. after staff reported hearing popping sounds from the dishwasher. A fire extinguisher had been used and the circuit breaker was turned off before crews arrived. Firefighters found charring at the dishwasher's outlet, but no signs the fire had spread. The coffee shop has been ventilated, but it will be closed for a couple of days. For updates, just check channel3000.com.
Wisconsin senators introduced a bill that would require animal testing facilities and breeders to require 3-week adoption periods. It's called the Beagle Freedom Bill, and it would allow dogs and cats to go to shelters or rescues rather than be euthanized. The proposal comes as the Dane County Board delayed a vote regarding breeder Ridgeland Farms. It would have called on the Department of Agriculture, Trade and Consumer Protection to revoke this breeder's commercial license. Ridgeland Farms currently faces 311 violations for inhumane treatment of their dogs, as well as a $55,000 fine. The county board will now vote next month.
Wisconsin schools are officially back in session, but it's not only students that will soon be getting report cards.
Our Elio Liberté shows us what changes are coming to a different report card.
Yeah, Brady and Susan, this year the State Department of Public Instruction is updating the way it grades schools and districts. It's a process that's required by state law. Now, DPI calls these report cards, and they track things like achievement, growth, target group outcomes, and on track to graduation rates. And it also uses multiple years of data. Now, schools and districts receive an overall score that falls into one of 5 ratings. Now, this change will update how those scores are determined. State Superintendent Jill Underly told me that this update is necessary.
A lot has changed, I guess. I could say really since these were first rolled out 15 years ago. Again, in state law, there's been new laws, there's been new testing, there's different ways of measuring student success and priorities. And because of the way these metrics have evolved, updates were overdue.
For the 2024-25 school year, and the district report cards will be released in the fall of 2025. Now, also in that conversation with Underly, we talked about things like funding and immigration policies. You can hear all of this Sunday at 10:30 on For the Record.
Thank you, Ellie. A Social Security watchdog has opened an investigation into the administration's call center. Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts has asked the Inspector General to look into the matter, specifically whether wait times have worsened under the Trump administration. She also wants to know if the public is getting accurate information about those wait times and how staffing decisions have affected the agency's ability to deliver services, among other questions.
Well, music's biggest stars are gearing up for this Sunday's MTV Video Music Awards, and for the first time, you can watch the show right here live on CBS. LL Cool J, there he is hosting with performances from Jelly Roll, Post Malone, and Sabrina Carpenter. Lady Gaga leads the nominations with 12, and Mariah Carey is set to return to the VMA stage for the first time in 20 years. She will pick up the prestigious Video Vanguard Award and perform a medley of her biggest hits. We'll have full coverage of the VMAs right here on Sunday night.
I think I know what I'm doing on Sunday night now.
I was just going to say, nice.
Well, next on Live at 4, Josh is working for the weekend in the 608.
He'll tell you how you can stay warm this weekend and some ideas for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
And Blaze is back with the complete first warn forecast. Chilly and gusty, how that could impact this weekend's football.
And Sun Prairie West High School Associate Principal Ed Ford is now serving as the school's acting principal. We'll look into the reason behind this change.
Well, you know what day it is. Say it with us now. It's Friday! And that means the weekend is officially here in the 608.
Don't we love it? And Josh Spreiter is here to help us plan ahead.
The first weekend of September has arrived. Here are my 3 things to do this weekend in the 608. We start in Jefferson County, where the Wisconsin Sheep and Wool Festival is back this weekend. This event celebrates the diverse sheep industry in the state, featuring lambing barn displays, shearing demos, fiber arts classes, and sheep shows. Gates are open today and Saturday, 7 to 7, and on Sunday from 7 to 3. Tickets are $10 a day or $20 for the weekend, and free for those ages 8 and under. Curd Fest is returning for its 12th year at Breeze-Stevens Field on Saturday. This is the original and cheesiest annual celebration of Wisconsin's most famous snack. Curd Fest is free for all from 3 to 6 p.m. and features some of the curds we've all grown to love. There are also some early entry tickets available at a cost, but you get in at 1:30 instead with a VIP treatment. Then on Sunday, we're talking about pancakes and planes. There's a pancake breakfast open to the community at the Waunakee Airport. This is from 7:30 to noon. The breakfast is $10 for adults, and it's also $7 for kids 10 and under. There are also opportunities to go for an airplane ride for a soaring view of Madison and Waunakee at an additional cost. For more ideas this weekend in the 608, just go to channel3000.com. Happy Friday in the 608. I'm Josh Breiter, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Josh, and thanks for making me hungry. Blaze Keller is here now to tell us if we need to bundle up this weekend at all these events.
Yes, you are likely going to need that light jacket, especially Saturday and if you're up early Sunday morning, as overnight lows not only tonight, but also Saturday night in the upper 30s to low 40s. A little bit warmer tonight further to the north and east because we're going to be underneath that cloud cover. We may also squeeze out a light sprinkle. We'll take a look at future track here. But it's not going to be heavy rain by any means, and a lot of us probably, even if we are underneath that threat for rain, probably won't even see that rain because we've been so dry over the last couple of days. So this weekend is going to be fall-like. We've already talked about it, but in short, sunny conditions, low to mid-60s, both Saturday and Sunday. Next week, if you're tired of the 50s and the 60s, you're not quite ready for fall, the 70s are set to return. So through the rest of this evening for all the Friday night football games, or if you're going to be heading out, we are going to sit underneath partly cloudy conditions. There's those isolated showers that I was talking about. Not everyone is going to see them. A lot of us are going to stay dry overnight. We don't have a lot of moisture in the atmosphere for this low pressure system as it exits the region to use. So once this system finally pulls out of here, that means we're sitting underneath quiet conditions for the rest of Saturday and then further into Sunday. So through at least 8 o'clock tonight, we're hanging out in those upper 50s to the mid 50s. Again, with those Friday night football games, you're going to need that light jacket. It is going to be a bit chilly out there at times with those winds dying down, but overnight we'll eventually settle into those upper 30s to low 40s. UW taking on the Tennessee Blue Raiders tomorrow, Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders tomorrow. Kickoff at 3 p.m. We're in the low 60s, and after, of course, they win, we're going to hang out in those low 60s to upper 50s. If you're going to be heading up north to, say, Lambeau Field on Sunday for the Packers taking on the Lions, another perfect day for football. It's going to be partly sunny to mostly sunny, light winds. You may just need that light jacket as well. If you're not able to get up to Lambeau, you can always catch it here on Channel 3. Now, here is Blaze's weather or nature fact of the day. This is a 12-spotted skimmer. A dragonfly, and did you know that dragonflies have a 95 to 97% catch rate, making them the best predator in the world? There is a look at your 7 and 10 day forecast. We're hanging out in the 70s Monday through that following Monday, maybe flirting with the 80s by next weekend.
I just learned something. Thanks, Blaze.
Exactly. I can't wait. Now we'll catch some mosquitoes.
Yeah. Well, we have much more to come today on Live at 4. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Taking a look now at the numbers on Wall Street. The Dow is down 220 points. The NASDAQ has lost 7 and the S&P 500 dropped 20 points.
Well, this year, the Brewers are leading the National League Central Division with an 86-55 record.
And with strong odds of going into the playoffs, this reminds us of a time decades ago when the Brewers united Milwaukee and Wisconsin. Arman Rahman sat down with the producer of Just a Bit Outside. Arman?
Well, as the 2025 Milwaukee Brewers make their push toward the postseason, we're giving viewers a chance to revisit the only Brewers team to reach the World Series so far. Just a Bit Outside, the story of the 1982 Milwaukee Brewers is a love letter to that iconic blue-collar squad, and it's airing Tuesday just after the Brewer game on television, Wisconsin. The film offers a heartfelt glimpse into how that magical team united a city troubled by recession and economic hardship with a talented band of misfits producing a season of near mythic baseball. I'm joined now by Kelly Call, who is the executive producer of the documentary that highlights the team. Kelly, thanks so much for joining us.
Armand, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So let's get right started. Tell me, for those of us who may not know, what is this documentary really about?
Well, it would the shorthand is it's about the 82 season, but more than that, it's about this kind of unique melding between the city and the state, and this team of real characters, guys that I don't know that we see anymore, kind of outcasts, kind of free spirits, but then also amazing ball players. And it's the kind of roller coaster journey of their entire season that takes them to Game 7 of the World Series.
That's awesome. What inspired you to kind of tell that story of that ragtag group right now?
To be honest, I got to golf with my hero on the team, who was Gorman Thomas. He was the center fielder. He hit a lot of home runs, led the American League, and also struck out a lot. So I think that kind of endeared him to a lot of the fans. And, I was fortunate to play golf with him a few times, and he just kind of had story after story after story about the 82 team. A lot of the stories happened, after hours and off the field. And my partner Sean Hanish and I thought maybe there was an interesting movie here. But as we dug a little deeper, we found, a lot more than fun drinking stories. We found a lot of guys who, boy, the pain of not quite getting it done, sticks with them 40 years later.
Definitely. Is he better at golf than he is at baseball, or?
He's a very good golfer. He's a good athlete, period. He was a heck of a baseball player.
That's great. And tell me you kind of mentioned that off the field is sort of as much as on the field stories. How did, the blue collar nature of that team kind of reflect and lift up the spirit of Milwaukee during that time of, recession and economic hardship?
Well, I think it was to start with, it was a different time. The players didn't park right next to the stadium. Their parking lot, they had to walk through the fans to get in and out of the stadium, and they would mingle with the fans. They might have a beer with them after the game. They went out to the local bars in a way that I just don't think, teams or players can do today without people pulling out their cameras and, taking pictures. And why are these guys out when they have a game the next day? So I think the city and the state really felt more of kind of an ownership of these guys, a kinship and a camaraderie. Today I think the city and the state has a similar camaraderie with this current team, who has this kind of this almost this band of outcasts, as Pat Murphy describes them.
Yeah, that brings me to my last question here. Kind of what were those parallels that you saw between the 82 Brewers and this year's Brew Crew?
I think they were just, they're working pale type players. They're hard hat guys. They go out and do their job. They don't quit. They don't complain. And I think, in a working class state, I think people can really, identify with that, and makes it, both in 82 and 2025 makes it really easy to cheer for these teams.
There we go. And hopefully in 30 years, we'll be making another documentary about this year, right?
We'd really like to make one where there's a happy ending, and that would be our goal this year.
And if you haven't seen that, I highly recommend it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I did not know about that history.
Yeah.
Having grown up in a different state. All right, coming up on Live at 4, continuing coverage on Sun Prairie West High School as the school makes major changes among leadership.
Plus, we have tips to help protect your students from hazing rituals. That's just ahead after the break.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Live at 4, a beautiful day to end the work week, and we have a lot of fun things going on this weekend.
We do. My gosh, it's a busy one and a gorgeous one outside. I'm Sarah Carlson. Susan will be back on Monday. Look at that. The weather words, fall-like feel continues. It is chilly and a bit windy, but things could get warmer next week. Summer has not ended. Blaze Keller is on the patio with a jacket this afternoon, but oh no.
No, I took it off this time. I don't know. Maybe I was just being a bit of a baby. It's not that bad here because protected, but it is still very much breezy outside. Gusts are upwards of about 20 to 25 miles per hour still. They will be dying down as we head into the evening and staying light throughout the weekend. There's a lot going on, but both Saturday and Sunday looking at temperatures in the low to mid 60s, partly sunny conditions on Saturday, a little bit more sunshine to end the first weekend of September. We've got Ironman going on. There's the UW game, Farmers farmers markets, you name it. Get outside and enjoy these nice conditions. This is a very quick taste of fall, and it comes at a time when there's a lot going on. So we're really going to be fortunate to be underneath these nice conditions tonight as well for Friday Night Football. There are some of those top wind gusts so far. Again, 20 to 25 miles per hour over the next couple of hours. It should be expected, but they'll be dying down as we head overnight. Speaking of overnight, upper 30s to low 40s, a little bit of some rain activity further to the north, just an isolated shower or two. And I think that's even overdoing it, maybe a sprinkle. We're pretty dry, so we're likely not going to see a whole lot of rain as this moves on through. We're looking currently at Lake Mendota at the Union Terrace. We're at 61 degrees in downtown Madison. Those dew points in the upper 30s to low 40s is the reason why it is so comfortable outside. Get out and enjoy these nice conditions tonight and throughout the weekend. 70s return next week. We'll take a look at how long they stick around for in the full forecast.
Thank you, Blaze. There is a new acting principal at Sun Prairie West High School. This comes just months after its former dean of students was accused of having sexual relationships with students. And right now, the former associate principal, Ed Ford, is the acting principal. Ford is replacing Jennifer Ploger. Sun Prairie Area School District did not confirm if Ploger is on leave, stepped down, or had been fired. Parents continue to ask for transparency.
I have 5 more years with a child in this district. How do I know they're going to be kept safe? And I don't at this point. So I'm hoping with everyone banding together that we can demand transparency and accountability that doesn't seem to have happened, at least in the last 6 years.
As we've reported, all of this is happening while Sun Prairie West's former dean of students, Robert Gilkey-Meisgeyer, is facing federal charges. He's accused of multiple counts of child sex crimes. Meisgeyer is expected back in court next month.
Experts are warning that hazing is becoming more violent and physical as students across the country head back to school. Advocacy group Stop Hazing defines it as an activity that humiliates, degrades, abuses, or endangers someone who's seeking to join a group. Social media is becoming a more popular mode for hazing, and experts say the solution is as complicated as the problem itself.
Because hazing behaviors are constantly shifting, it's like you're trying to hit a moving target.
Now that Dr. Sasso suggests addressing the issue head on when students are younger rather than waiting until they're in high school or in college.
Madison police are trying to identify a group of men that allegedly punched a man in the head last weekend. The man reported the incident on Tuesday, saying he and his friends had an argument with a group of men on State Street. The two groups got into another argument on Francis Street later that night, where one man was reportedly knocked unconscious after a blow to the head. Anyone with information on the suspects should contact Madison Police at 608-255-2345.
The Better Business Bureau has some tips for students and parents on how to build smart financial habits. First, experts say students should take advantage of discounts when it's time to figure out which meal plan works best. They can also get deals on textbooks by buying used and comparing prices across retailers. They also encourage parents to set up a semester budget to keep those students on track.
Wisconsin cheese is once again proving its world-class reputation at this year's World Dairy Expo Championship Dairy Product Contest. The national competition judged more than 96 product classes spanning cheese, butter, yogurt, ice cream, gelato, and so much more. Wisconsin cheeses dominated the field, of course, securing more than 52% of awards. This year's cheese and butter grand champion was a vanilla mascarpone from Lake Country Dairy Schumann Cheese in Turtle Lake. Locally, Foremost Farms in Baraboo picked up 3 awards, and Roth Cheese in Monroe also picked up 3. Congratulations.
Exactly, and now I'm hungry. This weekend is Wisconsin's annual Ironman Triathlon, which means there will be some road closures in Madison to watch out for. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard will be closed between East Doty and East Wilson Streets until Monday afternoon. And the right lane of northbound John Nolan Drive from East Lakeside Street to Monona Terrace will also be impacted, along with Olin Turville Court and Rimrock Road ramps and to and from the Beltline.
Well, next on Live at 4, Micah Parsons' jerseys have been flying off the shelves in the Packers Pro Shop.
Not too surprising. Our senior Packer writer Jason Wilde joins us from Lambeau Field with just a few days until the Packers take on the Lions. He'll tell us about the changes being made in these last days before the game. And Blaze is back with how much we will need to bundle up this week.
The Packers enter week 1 with 7 players questionable, including star pass rusher Micah Parsons, who is still expected to play against the Lions.
Cornerback Nate Hobbs return, and updates on receivers Jaden Reed and Dontavian Wicks add to Green Bay's uncertainty. Our senior Packers writer Jason Wilde has more from Green Bay.
The Packers' Friday injury report is out, and there are 7 players listed on it as questionable, including Micah Parsons, their star defensive end, who came over in the trade last week with the Dallas Cowboys. He had that pre-existing back issue in Dallas, but he did pass his physical. He has talked very much like someone who is playing on Sunday against the Detroit Lions here at Lambeau Field and here on Channel 3. And so I'm not sure questionable is the 50-50 proposition that it is designed to be with him. So I think there's a good chance that he will play. The question marks are Nate Hobbs, their cornerback, who also is listed as questionable, returned to practice this week for the first time since July 31st. And then wide receivers Jaden Reed and Dontavian Wicks. They are both questionable with injuries that nagged them throughout the summer. But we talked to Dontavian Wicks today. He says he feels great and he expects to play. One name not on the list, Jordan Love. While he still is dealing with the after effects of that surgery to repair the torn ligament in his left non-throwing hand, he is off the injury report and he will play against the Detroit Lions. We'll have full coverage of that game and everything leading up to it for free on channel3000.com. And while you're there, don't forget to sign up for the newsletter, which gets our Packers coverage directly into your inbox every single day. In Green Bay.
All right, thank you, Jason. Well, we are just a few days away from the Packers' opening game of the regular season, and you will be able to watch it, like Jason said, right here on News 3 Now. So, once again, this Sunday, the Green and Gold take on Detroit at Lambeau Field. The network's pregame show, NFL on CBS, will be live in Green Bay at 11 a.m., previewing this matchup. Coverage of the game is scheduled for 3:25.
And the Wisconsin Huddle returns for its 3rd season next week. We'll be bringing Badgers sports directly to fans at home with exclusive insights from the players and also behind-the-scenes access that you won't get anywhere else. Each week we have a Badger athlete come on and help host the show. This year's show will be held at Jay's Bar on Francis Street. Filming begins next Monday, and the first episode is scheduled to air soon, September 12th at 6:30.
Well, speaking of the Badgers, they are heading back to Camp Randall tomorrow for the 2nd week of the college football season. Kickoff against the Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders is set for 3 p.m. Badger backup quarterback Danny O'Neill will start.
And your News 3 Now team has some predictions for how the game will go. We'll be doing this. How fun. Tanasia has the Badgers winning 23-7. I'm giving us a slightly bigger lead, 30-7. Armand Rahman projects the Badgers will lead by 22, and Brady, you're thinking the end score will be 20-5. So well, good luck to you.
When they asked me, I said 1,000,000-5, but I suppose 20-5 is more realistic.
Probably, but you're a big Badger fan. So.
I am. I had faith. If anyone could do it, they could.
There you go.
It'll be a good game. Well, coming up on Live at 4, if you don't watch football this weekend, there is still plenty to stream.
That's right. Our film expert Will Loper lets us know 3 of the best things that you can watch right now. This is a live look at Phoenix, Arizona's downtown. Temperatures are 93, the high of 104 expected on Monday. Not so hot here.
No, other than the extreme heat, like with the way the light is hitting, doesn't it look like a postcard?
It does.
That's
I didn't think that was real for a moment.
Well, here's what is real. As kids head back to school, parents are thinking about more than just the backpacks and supplies. Vaccines are top of mind as well.
Big time. From updated COVID recommendations to the new RSV shot, there are important updates families should know about. Joining us with the latest is our medical expert, Dr. Zorba Pastor. Thanks so much for being here.
Good to be here, guys. Good to be here.
This year, what should parents know and be focused on as far as vaccines in the new school year?
Well, first of all, Wisconsin is 49th in the nation in terms of childhood vaccines. So in other words, we are way, way behind. So I think the important thing is there's so much misinformation about vaccines out there. Vaccines save lives. For instance, the HV vaccine, which is a hip vaccine that we give to kids. I haven't seen meningitis in maybe 25 years since that vaccine came out. The varicella vaccine, which is for chickenpox, of course, MMR. So I think it's important for parents to give their kids the vaccines. Right. And will they have side effects? Sometimes they get a fever, and of course, nobody likes to get the shots. You know, kids don't like to get it. And getting all the vaccines at one time is actually the best way to do it, because the vaccines all sort of correspond and they get the whole body's immune system going. So the idea of giving them one at a time is actually really not as good in, one at a time. It's much better to give them all at one time.
I never knew that. And parents can do their own research and probably learn
Absolutely.
all of these things.
And you know, part of that is, who do you trust? And the answer is your healthcare provider. Your doctor, your PA, your nurse practitioner, that's who you should go to. Yeah. I think that's the information that really you want to look at. And if you don't know somebody to go to in that, ask somebody else who you trust. Who do you see? Who do you go to? There's so much stuff that's incorrect that's on the internet and on TV. You've got to go to people that you trust on a personal basis.
And speaking of so much information, the next subject is the COVID-19 vaccine. There's been a lot of different...
Right. Well, first of all, if we look at influenza vaccine, I think October is a good time to get it. I think that's good. If you're over 65, you can get the COVID vaccine. And of course, you know, should you continue to get the COVID vaccine year after year? I think it's really good, like the influenza vaccine. And so once again, that's healthcare provider to do that. Right now, the CDC says one thing. All the professional organizations out there, American College of Physicians, family practice docs, they all say that COVID is important to get, and especially for people who are older. COVID affects older people more than it affects younger people. And then the other thing is the RSV vaccine, which is very, very important, because 5,000 adults a year die of RSV-associated pneumonia. Turns out now we've got 2 to 3 years of good information that shows that it may be a one-and-done vaccine. Right now it appears that you still have immunity. You don't get that once a year.
Yeah, you touched on it, and I want to ask this in a thoughtful way. With the distrust right now in vaccines and the misinformation that people can find anywhere, can the health community reel that back in, or what? How are we going to get this toothpaste back in the tube?
That is so. That's the big information. I think it's one step at a time. So we have to look in the state of Wisconsin is, what do our doctors say? What do our nurses say? What do our public health people say? Look at it in our state. And if you look, for instance, at Washington, Oregon, and California, they're all binding together and say our public health is going to be sort of one system. And I think it's a matter of what can we do in Wisconsin. And once again, you've got to look at it on a personal basis, because with all that information, people find it confusing. And they come up to me and they go, I'm so confused about what to do. And the answer is, it's a one-on-one basis with your provider.
Okay. Thank you for having this conversation with us.
It's good to be
here.
You
have some exciting things coming up?
Yes, I'm going to a dude ranch, horseback riding. At 78, I've gotten over my fear of horses. I'm going to go to Wyoming, and it's going to be giddy up.
Yeah, good for you. Bring back pictures next time.
Have fun, exactly. We got to see those.
Thank you.
Dr. Zerba-Passer, as always, thank you.
Well, let's get a look at our first warn forecast. Is it good horse riding weather out there, Blaze?
I mean, I think you can horse ride whenever, if you want. I don't know. I don't know what the terminology is to study horses, but I'm not that. I'm a meteorologist, and I can tell you this weather is going to be nice, and I think horses would be fine in this weather. It is going to be fall-like throughout the weekend, and then as we head into next week, that's when temperatures start to warm on up. We're starting to see the blocking pattern that is off across the West Coast starting to break down a little bit. And we see that because our temperatures start to warm on up, or at least get closer to being seasonable for this time of year. We're not seeing these 10 to almost 20 degrees below zero high temperatures. They're a few degrees below zero to a few degrees above zero, or above normal, I should say. So we're going to start to see this change, or feel this change rather, as we go into more or less the middle of September. Previously, we saw a lot of orange here, and that shot up into parts of Alaska and Canada. And while that is still happening, this is the reason why we are going to be warming up. More weather systems are going to be moving into parts of the West Coast, stretching from Oregon all the way south into California, and then they have to move westward. And so when they do that, they pull up warmer air out of the Gulf, out of the southern plains, and that leads to us being at least more seasonable to slightly warmer than average as those systems move on through. So we're starting to see that breakdown. And if we extend this out even further from the 13th through the 19th, that bullseye of warmer than average temperatures is just off to our northwest, but we're sitting at about a 40 to 50% chance to a 50 to 60% chance in northern parts of Wisconsin of being warmer than average. Is that by a degree, several degrees? We'll just have to see, because as we get closer or further into September, our daytime high, of course, gets cooler. So the takeaway from this is if you didn't like the fall temperatures or you're not quite ready to let go of summer, because we're starting to see that blocking pattern off to the west breakdown, we're going to start to ease in more warmer temperatures. Not necessarily more rain, while we will see an increased chance for rain as well. We're getting to that point also in the year where these systems are not pulling up as much moisture. We're not able to hold a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. So those rain chances Monday and Tuesday, we're looking at minimal accumulations. And then again, by the following weekend when we flirt with the 80s, it's not looking too impressive. But until then, enjoy the weekend. Plenty of sunshine and cool temperatures, and we'll hang out in the 70s
all weekend to get out and enjoy the cooler weather. Fall feeling weekend.
There you go, fall feeling. Not there yet. But in the evening, when it's really time to head inside, Will Loper has a look at what to stream.
He's so cute and fluffy.
He is your responsibility. Got it.
We promise.
Yeah.
Hit the waves with the 2025 film Lilo and Stitch, newly streaming on Disney+.
We are not keeping this thing.
Ohana means family. Family means nobody gets left behind
or forgotten.
The latest live-action Disney remake follows a young girl befriending a wild alien.
Buying back, stacking his records. It's a lot of money. There's more to life than just making money.
Watch Denzel Washington and Spike Lee re-team in the 2025 film Highest to Lowest, newly streaming on Apple TV+.
King David, now ain't this something? I got your full attention now, huh? You finally listening to me.
Somebody's got Trey.
What do you mean
Somebody's kidnapped our son.
The remake of the 1963 Akira Kurosawa film stars Denzel Washington as a music mogul who becomes targeted in a ransom plot.
I know what that means, to have nothing and want everything.
What is that? Insurance. That's Jake from State Farm.
From across Britain, thousands applied. Just 12 of the country's best home bakers have made it to the baking show tent.
And fire up the ovens for a new season of The Great British Baking Show, newly streaming on Netflix.
Yeah? Everyone's scared about Paul, but Bruce, Loki Savage.
A fresh set of 12 bakers will craft their best cakes, breads, and biscuits.
I knew the pressure in here would be real.
Quick, quick, quick.
Looks like it's been dropped out of a tree.
For Live at 4, I'm Will Loper.
Anything on your list?
The baking show looks scary.
Yeah. Is scary?
Well, I think they're so mean.
Too much pressure.
Yeah.
That's okay. Calm vibes for the weekend. We'll be right back. Box office numbers did. And later on News 3 Now at 5, we highlight some Madison teachers as we wrap up our Back to School series. Well, thanks for watching us on Live at 4 today. We hope to see you back here on Monday. Have a good weekend, everyone. And you can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.